Hello and welcome to This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm Christopher Holder. On this week's presentation, we bring you the highlights of Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa's week of activities, all the engagements that he has been involved in advancing the interests of agriculture across the country. We see in this week's presentation that he visited Lethem, met with the private sector from both sides of the border, celebrated Diwali. The Ministry of Agriculture hosted its own Diwali program. They had all kinds of competitions there. NARI emerging with top honors among some of the other agencies. Really great artwork with their presentations. Of course, we had the commissioning of the vermicomposting lab at NARI and the ant bait factory. Farmers in the hinterland and riverine communities, all those areas that are affected by the Akushi ant, those ants can wipe out the crop in the shortest possible time if left unchecked. So now NARI has commissioned a facility that produces the ant bait, and now it's going to be readily available for our farmers across the country. That's the focus of this week's edition of This Week in Agriculture. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend Diwali greetings to each and every one of you. I certainly hope that you enjoyed your day today. Tomorrow we go back to work. We will be back after these messages.
The Guyana Rice Development Board is integrating cutting-edge technology in rice farming. With the introduction of drones and GIS mapping, farmers can monitor their crops and make data-driven decisions. Through our Farmers Field School methodology, we provide comprehensive training to ensure farmers maximize the benefits of these technologies. As part of the project, GRDB has trained 8 drone pilots and 12 data analysts. The project was piloted at 9 farmers' field schools, with 3 located in Region 6, Crabwood Creek, Yakusari, Blackbush Boulder, and Lancaster, 3 in Region 2, Fairfield, Walton Hall, Henrietta, and 3 in Region 3, Windsor Forest, Good Hope, and Wakenham. To date, over 200 farmers have participated in the pilot areas and an additional 150 outside the pilot areas, with female farmers comprising 15% and young farmers 45%, representing 6% of the total farmers in the country. The Guyana Rice Development Board, pioneering the future of farming. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture. Guyana's government is committed to involving youth in agriculture through innovative initiatives like the Agriculture Innovative and Entrepreneurship Program. Launched in 2021, this program introduces youth to climate-smart techniques and high-value crop production. Over 300 shade houses have been constructed, empowering young people to grow crops like carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower. In 2023, Guyana expanded hydroponics farming, engaging over 300 youths in cultivating diverse crops from local and regional markets. Promoting agricultural science in secondary schools is also key. Investments in school farms, shade houses, and resources like chickens and aquaponics training enhance agricultural education. Through these initiatives, the government ensures youth are at the forefront of agricultural development. Join us in building a sustainable and prosperous future in agriculture. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Are you a farmer looking to boost your productivity and profitability? Registering with the Ministry of Agriculture is the key. By registering, you unlock access to government support, including training, quality seeds, fertilizers, and disaster relief. It's your ticket to a more prosperous farming future. Plus, registration helps Extension officers identify your specific needs, ensuring you receive targeted, high-quality assistance to maximize your yields. Register today and reap the benefits for your farm. Contact the Ministry of Agriculture Extension officer in your area and be on your way in the thriving business of agriculture. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Guyana's long walk to agriculture modernization and food security, not only for itself but for an entire region, continued this past week as Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa and team from the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, GLDA, visited a transformative initiative that will see several youth groups engaging in poultry production. The initiative is one announced by President Dr. Irfan Ali during a meeting with a group of young people at Lejalisi, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, last year, and is poised to revolutionize poultry farming through the introduction of climate-smart tunnel houses. These innovative structures are designed to boost production and significantly reduce mortality rates. Minister Mustafa and his team visited the project site at Monrepo, East Coast Demerara, where several of the tunnel houses are under construction, and met with some of the beneficiaries. According to Minister Mustafa, all of the equipment procured to set up the tunnel houses are in Guyana, and that by the end of the first quarter of 2026, all 8 tunnel houses should be operational. As part of the initiative, the Ministry of Agriculture has allocated 5 acres of land in the region to establish a state-of-the-art poultry farm. This high-tech agricultural tunnel house will form the foundation of a $50 million poultry production facility capable of producing 45,000 chicks per cycle. The project will be co-founded by the youths, who will collectively contribute $10 million, with an additional $40 million in financing provided by the banking sector at preferential interest rates as low as 4.5%. This initiative, which targets youth from several regions, forms part of a broader government effort to encourage youth participation in agribusiness and to modernize the country's agricultural practices. On Wednesday, the government of Guyana facilitated a meeting between private sector bodies from Guyana and the state of Roraima in northern Brazil in an effort to develop linkages to boost production in Region 9. During the meeting, which took place in Lethem and was also attended by government officials from the state of Roraima, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa stressed that Guyana needs to establish linkages within the agriculture sector to reduce the regional food import bill by 2030. Minister Mustafa noted that Region 9 is ideal for expanding agricultural investments based on its geographical location, the availability of land suitable for mega farms, and large-scale agro-processing facilities. Minister Mustafa told the gathering of Brazilian officials that the government is eyeing large-scale value-added production to satisfy regional and other global markets. While highlighting the successes of the Takama Gold, corn and soy project, Minister Mustafa said that the government was looking to develop public-private partnerships and encourage private sector representatives from both Guyana and the state of Roraima to adopt the model used by those investors to develop consortia. Also present at the meeting were Ministers of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation, Honorable Zulfikar Ali, Foreign Secretary Robert Passot, President of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce Industry, Kathy Smith, Consulate General of Guyana to Brazil, Roger King, and several other government and private sector officials. On Thursday, October 16, Guyana joined with the rest of the world in observing World Food Day 2025, an annual event set aside by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO. In a message to mark the occasion this year, President Dr. Irfan Ali said Guyana is pleased to join the world in celebrating this event, one that reminds us of our shared responsibility to ensure that every person everywhere enjoys access to safe, nutritious, and affordable food. President Ali also noted that this year's World Food Day observance holds special significance, as it also marks the 80th anniversary of the FAO, an organization that has for 8 decades been at the center of efforts to end hunger and malnutrition. Through its leadership, technology, expertise, and advocacy, the FAO has helped transform agriculture, strengthen rural livelihoods, and has guided developing nations along a path to sustainable food systems. Meanwhile, in his World Food Day message, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said that as Guyana joins in this year's observance, being held under the theme Hand in Hand for Better Foods and a Better Future, we are reminded that food is more than just a necessity. It is a fundamental human right, a powerful driver of national development, and the very source of dignity and health for every citizen. According to Minister Mustafa, the global food systems are currently facing immense pressure. Millions around the world continue to suffer from hunger, while the rise in food waste and malnutrition highlights deep-rooted imbalances that must be urgently addressed. Guyana, he said, like all other nations, must skillfully navigate the dual challenges of feeding a growing population while addressing the irreversible impact of climate crisis and global inequality. The Agriculture Minister, however, stressed that despite these challenges, Guyana is rising as a regional leader and is moving forward with bold, transformative actions. He said this is being achieved under the visionary leadership of President Dr. Irfaan Ali, who has reimagined and is reshaping the local agriculture sector. Evidence of this, Minister Mustafa noted, can be seen in the numbers coming out of the local rice sector, the corn and soybean project in the Tacama savannas, the scaling up of climate-smart farming techniques, including hydroponics and shade house cultivations. The government of Guyana has commenced its fertilizer distribution exercise in Kukwani, Upper Berbice River area, as part of its ongoing national initiative to support farmers and boost agricultural productivity across the country. This latest exercise follows several successful distributions in regions, including regions 2, 3, 5, 6, and 10, where thousands of farmers have already benefited from the government's continued investment in the sector. Through this program, the administration aims to reduce input costs, enhance crop yields, and strengthen food security, in keeping with its commitment to ensuring that farmers in every region, coastal and hinterland alike, have equitable access to the resources needed to sustain growth and resilience in the sector. The Ministry of Agriculture on Thursday hosted its annual Diwali observance under the theme of unity, gratitude, and light. The event brought together staff, farmers, and well-wishers in a vibrant celebration that featured colorful Rangoli displays, traditional seven curry, and an assortment of Guyanese sweetmeats. Delivering the remarks at the observance, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa emphasized the importance of unity and national cohesion, noting that the spirit of Diwali aligns perfectly with President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali's One Guyana vision. He said, "We are moving in a direction that our President has crafted for us as we work towards becoming a One Guyana. We might be from different religious denominations, but first and foremost, we are Guyanese." Diwali is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, light will always prevail. Minister Mustafa noted that this festival has deep roots in our agricultural traditions. It marks the end of the harvesting season in many parts of the world, a time when farmers give thanks for the future, for the fruits of their labor, and pray for prosperity in the years ahead. The Office of the First Lady, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, hosted a farmers' market on Thursday afternoon at the Kingston Seawall Esplanade. The event featured local farmers and agro-processors who displayed, sold, and offered samples of fresh and organic products, including garden vegetables. The two-day event provided an opportunity for local farmers to offer fresh fruits, vegetables, and dairy products at affordable prices. President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, First Lady Mrs. Arya Ali, their eldest son Zayed, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, and Minister of Tourism and Culture, Susan Rodriguez, visited several stalls and interacted with patrons, many of whom expressed their gratitude to the government officials for organizing the initiative. The farmers' market showcased not only fresh produce, but also a variety of unique agro-processed products, such as sorrel jelly, pepper jelly, sweet potato bread, bunjal paneer, fresh milk, and Belanger pepper, among others. On Friday, as part of Agriculture Month this year, the Ministry of Agriculture, in association with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, hosted the annual World Food Day exhibition held this year in Berbice at the Albion Sports Complex ground, Quarantine. The event showcased agriculture in its many forms and allowed members of the public a window into the many possibilities within the business of agriculture. Delivering the feature address at the formal ceremony to mark the event, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the theme of this year's World Food Day observance, Hand in Hand for Better Foods and a Better Future, reminds us of the power of collaboration and inclusivity, values that Guyana has long championed in our journey to transform the agri-food sector and ensure that no one is left behind.
And this here, as we are observing World Food Day, this theme that we are observing this important event under speaks of the importance of this activity. In recent years, all of us here would have known that Guyana has emerged as a regional leader in food security and agricultural transformation. We know for a fact also that not so long ago, Guyana was almost at the bottom in the region in relation to food security and agricultural activities. And all of us also would have knew that since the formation of the Caribbean community, Guyana always lead on food security and agriculture. And I'm happy to stand before you here this afternoon proudly to tell you that after only 5 years, when our President, His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, would have taken the lead or resumed the leadership in food security, Guyana is not only in championing food security, but we today is the leading country for agriculture in CARICOM. Our technical personnel are going to different parts of the Caribbean in CARICOM to build capacity. We have seen countries whose economy were built on other sectors, things like tourism, oil and gas. Today, they are fully embracing agriculture because we have seen since the leadership was taken up by our president, we have seen a renewed interest in agriculture and food security.
The Agriculture Minister told the gathering that Guyana has been on the move in developing and expanding its agriculture sector, realizing exploding production growth in almost all the subsectors: rice, new and exotic crops, coconuts. A reality, he said, is the result of strategic planning and investment by government.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Guyana demonstrates its capacity to be the breadbasket of the Caribbean, Region 6 is becoming a blueprint for integrated agricultural development. Only yesterday, we heard the Vice President spoke about Agro Park in Region 6, spoke about the development of thousands of acres of land to come under cultivation. We are now working with a company from the Dominican Republic who have already visited the Upper Quarantine to start the production of cocoa and coffee. They want to set up a cocoa and coffee plant. In the traditional area, I spoke about rice. We are moving also to look at the other traditional area, things like the sugar industry. We have started the recultivation of sugarcane on the quarantine in Skeldon. We are working once again with the private cane farmers to develop another 10,000 acres of land that they have been planting before the closure of the Skeldon Sugar Estate. Gaisuco, by themselves, They are now cultivating once again 5,000 hectares of sugarcane. And we are working with a private developer to look at a small sugar plant up on the Skeldon there. So these are very important development that will come your way. And at the heart of our transformation, I want to recognize the role of our farmers, our agro-processors, researchers, women, youth, and in the people in the indigenous communities who are working day in and day out to feed our nation. Many times, when we come to activities like these, we don't recognize the important functions of these people. We tend to overlook their roles. But we must celebrate their resilience. We must celebrate their innovation and their leadership. Without the farmers going to the farm, without the farmers going to the bagdam early in the morning, we can't get food. So we must support them. That is why our government recognizes the important role of our farmers. And that is why we are increasing budgetary allocation. We are building a future where agriculture empowers communities, build wealth locally, and connect our hinterland and coastland as equal partners in national development. Many of you would have known about CARICOM idea of reducing the food import bill, the 25 by 2025 plus 5 target. Guyana is leading that charge. Our president is leading that sector. Guyana is chairing the ministerial task force. And we are working hand in hand with regional government and stakeholders to reduce CARICOM food import bill, whilst raising the region's food production capacity. Presently, we are investing in cold storage and packaging infrastructure at Parika, Charity, and Port Kaituma. We are developing a regional food hub. Right here in Guyana, we are now building a regional food hub on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. The government of Guyana is building the building, and we have signed an agreement with Bloomberg Grain so that they will come and also build the cold storage and help us to ensure that that food hub, we take in the slacks that will be created by the reduction of imports into the Caribbean.
In preparation for Guyana to meet this impending demand for the supply of food to the region through the food hub, Guyana is currently putting the necessary systems in place to ensure that all internationally accepted checks are in place to certify food as safe in every sense.
We are enhancing our animal health, food safety, and SPS standards to unlock high-value exports opportunity. These actions are critical, not just for market access, but for building trust and credibility in Guyana's food system, both regionally and globally. In today's world, we cannot talk about food without talking about climate change. Guyana's agricultural sector is on the front line of climate impacts. A rising temperature, unpredictable rainfall, and saline intrusion all threaten our productivity. As such, we are working to expand our mangrove restoration, shade house farming, as well as sustainable climate-smart solution. Moreover, all this aligns with our low-carbon development strategy 2030, which keeps sustainability as at the core of our developmental goals. Let us remember that food systems do not transform in isolation. They transform when we plan hand in hand, innovate hand in hand, invest hand in hand and stand hand in hand with our farmers for our families and for our future.
The Agriculture Minister, accompanied by his Permanent Secretary, Ms. Dawn Ellis, and heads of agencies, later toured the many exhibition booths hosted by agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture, along with other stakeholder organizations. The Guyana Rice Development Board is integrating cutting-edge technology in rice farming. With the introduction of drones and GIS mapping, farmers can monitor their crops and make data-driven decisions. Through our Farmers Field School methodology, we provide comprehensive training to ensure farmers maximize the benefits of these technologies. As part of the project, GRDB has trained 8 drone pilots and 12 data analysts. The project was piloted at 9 Farmers Field Schools, with 3 located in Region 6, Crabwood Creek, Yakusari, Blackbush Boulder, and Lancaster, 3 in Region 2, Fairfield, Walton Hall, Henrietta, and 3 in Region 3, Windsor Forest, Good Hope, and Wakenham. To date, over 200 farmers have participated in the pilot areas and an additional 150 outside the pilot areas, with female farmers comprising 15% and young farmers 45%, representing 6% of the total farmers in the country. The Guyana Rice Development Board, pioneering the future of farming. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture. Guyana's government is committed to involving youth in agriculture through innovative initiatives like the Agriculture Innovative and Entrepreneurship Program. Launched in 2021, this program introduces youth to climate-smart techniques and high-value crop production. Over 300 shade houses have been constructed, empowering young people to grow crops like carrots, broccoli, and cauliflower. In 2023, Guyana expanded hydroponics farming, engaging over 300 youths in cultivating diverse crops from local and regional markets. Promoting agricultural science in secondary schools is also key. Investments in school farms, shade houses, and resources like chickens and aquaponics training enhance agricultural education. Through these initiatives, the government ensures youth are at the forefront of agricultural development. Join us in building a sustainable and prosperous future in agriculture. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Are you a farmer looking to boost your productivity and profitability? Registering with the Ministry of Agriculture is the key. By registering, you unlock access to government support, including training, quality seeds, fertilizers, and disaster relief. It's your ticket to a more prosperous farming future. Plus, registration helps extension officers identify your specific needs, ensuring you receive targeted, high-quality assistance to maximize your yields. Register today and reap the benefits for your farm. Contact the Ministry of Agriculture Extension Officer in your area and be on your way in the thriving business of agriculture. A message from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Well, that's all the time we have on this week's edition of This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder, saying so long until next time.